Everybody please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Stevie is a former Munhall resident. She's a Terrick. She's a former mayor of Hiram, Georgia, and she's now a councilman.
Yes.
She is a cousin of Judge Terrick, right? Welcome to our meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Mr. Shields.
Here.
Mr. Eads. Present. Mr. Youngkins. Here. Ms. Fry.
Here.
Mr. Bodadian. Hey. Mr. Brennan. Here. Chief Caterino. Here. Chief Coles. Here. Mr. Elias. Here. Mr. Bicey. Here. Mr. Cannon. Here.
Get everybody. The mayor will be here. He's going to be a little late. Okay, solar presentation.
Thank you for having us this evening. I'm Steve Krimmel, Solar Renewable Energy. My colleague's Barry. And we're a solar developer. We're a solar developer based in Harrisburg, about 2 hours east of here.
Do you have one, Rick?
Not yet.
Come that way?
I got one now.
You guys got one?
Anybody else want one?
Good.
One for the mayor and for Russ.
The mayor for Russ.
And Mayor for us.
Yes. Just give me David.
One more, please, for the mayor. He was late.
Okay, so again, we're a mid-Atlantic solar developer based in Harrisburg. We've done about 350 solar arrays at this point for folks that are primarily not-for-profits, boroughs, townships, school districts, folks like that. They have even usable land or even unpurposed land so that they can monetize it and get some return. What I have here for you is like a 25-page presentation that I'll move through rather quickly because it is as much a reference as anything for you. And then the single page I passed out is a summary of everything and all the numbers so that you have options if we go with a, say, a larger array, a smaller array, if you want to pick and choose and some what are the benefits and what are the negatives and risks of running that type of thing. So it's kind of a one-pager that will summarize everything. And we're happy to obviously keep answering questions afterward if there's interest and go from there. So I'll just step through this rather quickly, keep moving through it. That's our headquarters building on the top left on the cover page, in a suburb of Harrisburg called Mechanicsburg. And we've done large and small arrays. We've done the largest floating array in the country out in Somerville, New Jersey, in the lower right. It's a place called Canoe Brook. It's an American water plant. The lower left is the University Area Joint Authority in State College. And the top right is a solar canopy that we did down in Washington, D.C. That's the second largest there in the area next to the Washington Nationals Sports Complex Park. So we do them large. We also do them mid-sized and small. I'll show you later here Munhall Borough, if you're familiar with that, out by State College, California area. Is a smaller array. And I'll show you some here that are all out in the kind of local area here. You may recognize some of them as well. So if we move on to page 2, again, we're a fairly large developer here. We were just named Central Pennsylvania, anyway, that part of the state, the 4th fastest growing company. So been pretty busy with things as there's lots of changes going on in the industry here as far as incentives and things. So I almost hate to say it, but the time to do something is sooner than later with all the changes that are happening. There are a lot of tax incentives that reduce the cost of the array for you. back. But we're good into the end of 2027 to have the arrays completed. Anybody that's completed and built by then is okay. But it does take 18 to 20 months or so to get through all the permits and approvals and processes and to get it built. It's actually longer to get the permits and approvals than it is to build the thing. So, but we've done a little preliminary homework here. Seth and I went out and kind of looked at some of the potential sites, on the way here, and we have talked with like your zoning folks and stuff. There are no ordinances or anything that are prohibitive, that are negative or anything, so that's good, at least a preliminary sniff test. Page 3 is just a quick, how does this stuff work? There are solar panels that collect power in it's what's called direct current. Then there are inverters behind that turn that direct current collected from the sun into indirect, like what you would plug your electrical outlet into and use. And then what these things do is 2 ways to do it. You can either put it in behind your meter, and you can offset your usage. Or what we'd be looking at here would be utilization of a field, basically, and something called virtual net metering, where anything within a 2-mile radius of this array, you could offset those electric bills. And anything on your bill that's KWH related would be gone, because this is put in behind your meter. The only thing it wouldn't be able to cover is like traffic light, or traffic signals and lights and things, street lights. But anything that has
Anything is monitored.
yes, anything that has a meter to it, we can submit those all into the utility and to gate those. And the thought would be there's opportunity to overgenerate and then offset even further. And within Duquesne here and the other utilities in the state, there's opportunity to do that. And then once a year, the utility will send you a check for what you overgenerated. So one of the punchline questions here is if you decide you do want to do it, then the question is sizing. How large of an array would you want to do? Because things keep changing. The electric rates obviously are going up all the time. The incentives back from the utility can change. They can go up, they can go down. The solar SREC incentives, the things you generate extra, they have a value like a stock price, and they also go up and down. So we do our best to do a conservative model. Our entire office is a bunch of, I'm the only one who's not a CPA, a bunch of accountants that do conservative kind of calculations. So when we model for you as an example, we'll assume that the electric rate is going to go up 2% a year. Well, they've gone up a lot more than that, certainly of late, and certainly since COVID. So fairly conservative model, and we're happy to do lots more what ifs, and what if this goes away, or what if this changes. But I'll walk you through here, at least at a high level in the thick presentation, some of that. And then again, that one pager I gave you kind of summarize when we get to it, each of the different options. Page 4, if you say, what do they look like? Well, they're about 7 foot tall and 4 foot wide, each solar panel. And if you look at that top left picture, we attached them in what we call portrait mode, up and down lengthwise, and we put 2 per rack high in the air. They're 36 inches off the ground, so you can easily mow under them. We vegetate around them, put a fence around it, that type of thing. But that's basically what they are as far as look and feel. Page 5, why now? Again, I talked about the rate increases, significant increases that have happened, incentives that are going away. So it's really, you're in a window here. It's now end of 25, and you've got next year and the following year. So there's a little time yet, but we got a lot of people that are getting in a rush, and the whole industry is kind of surging here to get things built, to get things done before the tax incentives disappear. Page 6, that was just a Federal Reserve chart that showed what have these rates done. Now, don't ask me why they said U.S. city electric prices, but you just can see there since the COVID days what's happened here with prices. And within Duquesne itself, there has been increases, and there are more planned as well. each of the utilities across the state, First Energy,
You keep speaking of Duquesne.
Yeah.
Duquesne, I speak of Duquesne. yeah.
Duquesne City.
Duquesne Light.
Duquesne Light.
Okay.
Duquesne Light. Oh, not this, no. not
Me
this-
too.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Sorry, Duquesne Power, yes.
Duquesne, okay.
Yep. So let's say we're a go with an array on page 7. There are helps and hurts, there are costs and benefits to it. You'll get revenue from the electricity you generate and the what are called solar renewable energy credits, SRECs. For every 1,000 kilowatts of power you generate, you get 1 SREC. And they're currently selling at about $25 per SREC. So, you get the monies from that. We make a business of aggregating for our client base all those SRECs. I think we do keep like a $2 per SREC or something, $2 per SREC, but then you just get a check. So every quarter, you just get a check for those SRECs. And they represent maybe 20% historically of the total savings on the whole modeling. So, we don't just build it and leave. We give operations and maintenance contracts where we'll come out and check the wiring, the fuses, make sure everything's working. We monitor them in our home office every 15 minutes. We have electronic monitoring that watches the outputs and things. So, and then we sell those SRECs for you. So we're in contact ongoing. It's not like you never hear from us again. We might do a Zoom call rather than run out every month, but we'll see. So, and then as you get into these things, you can either, well, let me say it this way. The first 5 years, we and our investors own the array. Behind us are investors that have tax equity they're investing in these things. But after 5 years and a day, they're done. They've gotten their benefits and they're moving on. That then gives you an opportunity after 5 years of getting benefits and positive cash to buy the array in year 6. Now, you don't have to buy the array. You can wait. There are other options in like years 10, 15, 20, 25. You have other options along the way if you're not quite ready financially to do that.
It's more like, is it like leasing a car for 3 years and you can buy it?
You can extend
Very
the lease.
simple.
Just extend the lease. Yep, our payments go up like 2% a year, but you can keep doing that for 25 years if you wish. And I'll show you an example of that here a little later. So that's an option. I'd say many clients buy them. Some just are not financially able to, leverage that and get it done. So, but either way, they've had no money spent up front, and they're positive cash flow.
How long do they last?
The array itself, we have a life of 40 years. The panels are warranted for 30-year output. They'll be at 80% production at year 30. So they degrade like 0.5% a year as far as what they spit out. We use inverters. We extend those for 20 years. So you're covered on the inverters for 20 years. Some representative arrays, page 8, that's that University Area Joint Authority at State College. They have a battery system in theirs as well. The plant's in the top left picture. In the upper left part of the picture, it's a little hard to see, but it's a very big array. And they're a great one to talk to as well if you're interested in talking to someone else about that. But they're kind of the lead dog, if you will, here with the water authorities and sewer authorities and boroughs and people that we talk to. Page 9 is Chronomet out in Aliquippa. That's an array very similar to the size of yours would be, 1 megawatt. Page 10 is Greater Johnstown Career Technical Center. Again, very similar size.
So this one's in Aliquippa, we could actually go and look at that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Johnstown, there I said. Munhall Borough I mentioned before, that one's smaller. That's maybe a third the size, but like I said, we do them large and small. And then we're currently working on one that's not in service yet, the Cambria Heights School District. That one's just being built to be about double the size of the one we looked at here possibly. Permits are almost finalized with it. And then page 13 brings me to I'll say, the largest proposal, what we have here. We're trying to, utilize that land you've got between the tracks out there, right behind the, I think it was Dollar General or Family Dollar, I forget, I got them mixed up. But this would be like a 1.7 megawatt array. What you would do is you generate that, and then the excess would be sold back to Duquesne Power once a year in June. All the utilities do that once a year and send it back, sell it back. It would give you positive cash flows, about $64,000 each of the first 5 years. And if you would purchase the array, at that point, your cash flows would double. We'd be out, there'd be no more payments to us, and your cash flows would double. And that one would have like a $7 million potential savings over the life of the array. That's over like 40 years, 40. So that's kind of the, if you look on the other page, if I could ask you to maybe flip back and forth a bit on the single pager I gave you, that's the large array buyout. That assumes you buy it in year 6, and then those would be all the related savings and cash flows, lifetime savings. And I think an important point to make, because the further I go, the more technical this discussion gets a bit, but another important point to make here is, you see on that single page, the average cost of electric, that's a 5.3 cent cost per kilowatt hour. So Duquesne Power right now is at 10 cents. You might have contracts that have you now at 9 or 9.2 or something. But you're locking that kind of a rate in for a 40-year period. That's your basic cost of electric. So whatever rates do, if they double, triple, whatever crazy stuff happens here, you're getting sort of a controlled rate. Things sitting out there generating power, and just happens. And if you just run across the other options then, the 7.1, the 5.6, the 7.3, going from left to right there, those are the different sizes of arrays. In fact, let me stay on the single page for a second here. If you go to the next column, that assumption is you still do the large array, but you never buy it. You just keep making lease payments, extend the lease on the car like we talked, and just keep going the whole 28 years. Well, now you've got what? You've got only about $5.5 million savings. You've got about a 7 cent locked-in price. So gives you, the most advantageous if you're being aggressive in putting an array in and trying to generate savings. And again, I'm going to stay here. If we do a smaller array that's closer to your output, and I have to get that nailed down exactly what that is. I believe it's 500,000 kilowatt hours a year. I'm not positive, but I think that's your number. I'll have to get some real record bills and go through that. But that array then is about 60% the size. You'd still buy it out, just coming down that third block column. You'd have $30,000 a year in cash flow savings versus the 60. You'd still have 3.7 million of savings, and an average cost, again, you're in that nickel plus range of 5 cents a kilowatt hour. And the worst case scenario for you is we do the small array, the 1 megawatt, but you never buy it again. You just, each year our payment goes up 2%, you never buy it yourself and do it. You still save almost $3 million, 2.9. You're getting 30,000 cash flow a year, and again, you're in that 7 cent savings. So it comes down to, I say at the bottom there under the comments, you go from most aggressive on the left to most conservative on the right, as far as what the different options are.
So Steve, when you're saying we're gonna get 30,000 a year, is that after we get the generation for the electricity? That we pay for our own electricity, or what? How's that work? Because when you told me, we said we'd cover most of our electricity.
Yes, anything that has KWH on your bill, which is everything you buy.
So what you're saying is we'll cover our electricity and still get 30,000 a year. Is that what you're saying?
All your,
It'd be reducing your electricity cost by $30,000. If you just for simplicity, let's say you're paying $50,000 today for electric. After you factor in solar, your 50 would drop to say 20. So you'd be saving about 30 grand net of all the payments. Does that make sense?
And again, any bill that has KWH on it, if you today have Constellation or Red Energy, I'm not sure who you buy from as a supplier, that all goes away. And then anything on the Duquesne Power bill, it's KWH, anything there goes away. They'll still bill you for the demand and the customer service charge and bills and that stuff, but anything else that's in KWH also.
What would be the final cost of the borough to get this thing up and running?
Well, let's assume the last one here, okay? You never buy it out, you get your electric savings, you get your SRECs, you pay us, you get $30,000 a year better cash than what you had before, when you were just paying the utility.
Is that what the borough would have to pay?
No, that's what you benefit per year. You benefit that.
Rich, you want to know the upstart costs.
Yeah.
You want to know the upstart
There
costs.
is,
Yeah, once it gets up and running, what's the borough got to pay?
there is nothing except our fee. It's the $118,000 divided by 12, it's a monthly fee. So that's what you pay. But again, you've gotten your electric savings, you've gotten your SREC savings, you've gotten your Duquesne Power savings, now you pay us at
Does that come off,
$118,000.
does that come off the payment?
And the net of those, then, you're $30,000 ahead.
Right.
So under this structure that Steve's, I think we just about got there, it's called a power service agreement. So all of the financing costs is our responsibility. So like actually all the construction of this, like that's what we're doing for you. The reason for that is because there's federal tax credits out there. So essentially some of the returns coming from the tax credit, some of it's coming from the payments from the borough. But like the actual construction, the multi-million-dollar cost of the system, that's our responsibility.
We knock down the trees, we pay for the permitting, all the costs to build it, everything, we pay that.
It sounds too good to be true. To be honest with you, it sounds,
So the borough's first payment is once the system's actually on and generating power. It's kind of like a rent payment.
okay,
That's basically essentially when the borough's first payment for the system would happen.
okay. After you got, everything's up and running.
So
Correct, so like all the construction costs, financing, like that's all our responsibility, but conceptually, we have a lot of like numbers to show you, but you guys would make a payment once it's operational, and then you would receive the benefits of the lower bills, the excess generation.
Everything would trickle down to the very end.
Yeah, that's that $30,000
Right.
number that Steve's referring, it's net, it's gonna save you guys without actually having like invested capital,
Well,
basically.
you guys are gonna be responsible for that lot down there to make it, so these things can be put up.
we,
Because right now, it's,
They do it all.
we went down and looked at it, we clear it with trees, we seed it with slow grow grass. and
Level it if
everything.
it needs
Put
level.
it level, put a fence around it, yep. We typically do ask the clients to mow, to do the vegetation.
Right.
you
That's a
ever
good
have
reason.
any vandalism in past places?
Just when folks hit the panels with the mower. Now, we have kids with rocks at the school district sometimes, but all covered through insurance, all covered, with insurance. But kids do like to throw rocks at some of the schools, we've seen that, so.
So the 118,000 is a one-time fee,
No, it's an annual fee,
annual,
Spread over 12 months.
and you divide it by 12,
Right.
and that's what you.
and you get back 30,000
So,
a year.
At
so-
the end, yeah. So at the end, each month, you'll get your electric bill, but it'll be zero for what you used, anything that was kilowatt hours. There'll be a little bit to pay Duquesne Power, their, I'll say, infrastructure costs to give it to you. So you have that little bit to pay, but you're still gonna be the 30,000 ahead.
So where's your benefit?
Yeah.
Where's your company's benefit? Well, how do you make it?
Well, we've got the investors behind it that are interested in tax equity, and we are investors as well.
Okay,
So, we get those tax credits and benefits
there
from.
you go, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is
you get the tax credits.
is Homestead benefited by this in any way?
Well, I'll show you a slide a little later. I have not talked with them yet, but I did take the liberty of dropping a slide in here to show.
And I spoke to Lloyd Cunningham, he's interested, he just couldn't be, he was supposed to be here,
I was
something
with
came
him
up.
today.
What's that?
I was with him today.
Yeah, he said something came up and he couldn't make it today, so, but he's gonna watch our video and we're gonna do some paperwork.
If you look at page 23, if you just look ahead really briefly here, what I call it twin boroughs. So the picture on the left is Homestead on page 23. And the arrays are the same size. Theirs just has to be a little skinnier because it's tight between the railroad tracks there.
Now, we talked today If the railroad has, with Lloyd, by the way, they have 15.5 feet on either side of the track. On this track, the north track and the south track, they have 15 feet.
Okay, I use
The
50.
railroad owns.
I use 50. So we have plenty here of buffer.
Enough? Okay, that's enough.
Plenty of buffer.
That was a question we had.
Yeah, I use 50.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if you look at that carefully, I believe the property or the borough line is between the white building, which is one of the dollar stores, and then the black building on the right there, and then that hedgerow going up on the picture on the left. There, sorry. This hedgerow going up here, I believe that's about the borough line between Homestead and. Is that am I close? Yep. Okay. So if you just look at the buildings up above, you can see, well, you can see the hedgerow on both, fortunately, I put it in both. So there's room for both. Theirs is a little skinnier. I made it the same size, but I didn't do any numbers for them or anything. They can use the same numbers as yours, basically. There's just
Is it cheaper?
different.
Is it cheaper with both boroughs or just,
A little bit. We'll get some benefits of trucks and running and hours and things from our installers. But we needed to do it these sizes because a megawatt's about the size minimum we want to do. We do it a little bit smaller for one, so it'd really benefit us as well to have two. It'd be much more beneficial. I hate to say to run out here, but you know what I mean.
Right, that makes sense.
Yep,
Have them two together.
yeah, yep. So that's why I just called it twin boroughs. It's just as an example. But back to, let me just keep moving here. Now, again, a lot of numbers in fine print here, but page 14, that's that large array, very large one, and assumes you buy it.
What was this, Karen? You get Karen that. Excuse me.
Sure. So this gives you all the numbers. If you don't like those, I've got on page 16, I've got it verbalized. Big bullets, big print, okay? But this is an accountant's schedule saying here it's 40 years, and the items on the left are your savings. And then over in the right in the middle it says contract service under that column G. Those are the 5 years of the payments to us. But if you take the benefits on the left, the payments on the right, and then if you would buy it out and finance it, even after your principal and interest payments in year 6, you're still positive. You're actually double then what you'd be the first 5 years.
You don't do any of the financing after the initial 5 years?
No, we
No.
don't. And we assume here you can get 4.5%? Yep. On a loan.
Okay.
So, but if you look over there to the right then, net cash flow, under the big red where it says year 6, if you look under here, net cash flow, that's your annual number, $64,000 per year. And again, that's a larger array that assumes the SREC dollars stay at 25 until, I'm going to say 26 years out, and then they drop a little bit. We were conservative with that. It assumes electricity goes up 2% a year, and it's historically been at least 2.8, and it's been more than that the last 5-6 years, 2.8%. Now, your Western PA utilities have been a little bit better pricing than what the PP&Ls have been, and some of the Med Ed in the East are a little higher. I think Kane's price to compare right now is like 10 cents. PP&Ls is 12.
Okay.
Central part and eastern part. So, but I don't know the Duquesne numbers, what their next, their December price to compare is going to be, but I know it's higher. I don't remember, what they've said. 10 cents, 12 cents, what it's going to.
What's this 158,000 highlighted under maintenance?
That is in year 20. That assumes all your inverters, you own them now in year 20. This assumes all your inverters fail year 21 immediately. Very conservative assumption. And that you'd have to go buy all your inverters again and replace them all. No, that's not going to happen all at once, all in year 21. But maybe by then they're getting tired and, you have some phasing.
who replaces them? Who replaces them?
We offer, as I said, operational and maintenance contract that we'll come out and maintain the array and stuff, and we would do that. We do that today. In fact, I just processed 3 different inverter orders for folks that have older systems.
Speaking of older system, how far have you gone back with these?
We started in 2010,
Okay,
so we're 15 years into it.
15 years?
Yeah.
But
So you're replacing some after 15 years on it?
Some do,
Some
yes,
do.
some do, yeah, but they're under warranty.
Right.
They're under warranty.
How long is the warranty?
10 years originally, and we take them, we extend them and pay for it up to 20. So we make, you have a 20-year warranty, and that's what this assumes, in year 21, they fail, all of them. So worst case hit, if you will.
Hopefully they fill in 19.
So
Yeah, exactly.
what would be the buyout cost for the borough in year 6?
Let's see here. $2 million in that case, over under column H, debt financing, to be down to principal to the very bottom of the schedule. That'd be a $2 million buyout, $2,059,000. And again, one size closer to you would be, 60% of that number roughly, because we're going to do a 60% smaller, or 60% size of this array. And we'll see that here in a bit. Unfortunately, I have pages of every assumption here like this, and that's why I did the one page for you, to kind of, keep it simple. If you decide you want to do a bigger one and take the chance that, the Duquesne price to compare will keep where it is or go up, but then nothing will change to make it go away, that's a more risky, more aggressive shot at it if you want to size.
What do you mean by going higher or going bigger?
Well, you over-generate more, so the utility gives you a check once a year in June for what you've excess generated, once a year.
Over and above what we used?
Yep. And this is much higher than what you use. The 1.7 is much higher. Because you can see it's like 2.1. This is almost 4 times what you use, I believe. So it doesn't have to be that big. So that's one example. Now what might be interesting is if you look at page 14 and 15 side by side, what changes? Well, page 15 says, we're never going to buy it. We're just going to keep paying you guys, and you raise it to 2% a year more. And then you can see it under that contract service payment in the middle, right there. That just continues for you all the way down to year 28. But now your savings go down, it's not as lucrative to you then if you just keep, as we said, leasing the car, right?
Right.
It's not as beneficial. So that's the 2 large arrays. And then page 16 just kind of verbalizes that for you, all the things and the assumptions and everything. And so does page 17. I want to really get to the smaller versions because, all things being equal, that there's enough change going on, and, what the Duquesnes of the world or the PP&Ls of the world or any of them will say to you is, we're not going to let that go on forever. Well, guess what? The court said it's in place. So unless that changes or something happens to reduce it, that price to compare that comes out might go from 10 cents now to 12 in December to 14 to, whatever.
And I heard that Duquesne Light was not like to buy back electricity.
Well, yeah, they're paying a bit of a premium to all people
Right.
to do this. And we've got 30 of these or more going throughout the state.
But is there anything saying they have to pay us a certain amount?
We'll take that one.
Yeah, so when you're submitting the projects, so one of the first steps is you submit what's called an interconnection application. So that's where the utility actually will study the project and find what upgrades are there. So you're submitting under what's called net metering. So essentially you're submitting under the utility tariff, like that's the rule book for the utility. That program is called net metering. So net metering is no different than the school district or any of the other projects that we showed you. So essentially you're kind of getting lumped in like with the homeowner that owns solar on their house, the school district down the road, your borough project. So it doesn't really matter if you're excess like a revenue play or it's just an expense offset. They're all kind of getting lumped in under the same program, the same requirements. So if they were to change the rules for one project, they'd have to change the program.
Right, and they change it down the road.
They could theoretically
Or
change.
would we be grandfathered in?
That's the crystal ball question. Historically, in many other states, grandfathering usually is the outcome. Like if they were to change something, say 5 or 10 years from now, if you were before a date, then you're not. There's no changes. I would say historically, that's what they've done in multiple other states.
So that's one of three things that can change. That can change. The electric rates themselves can go up by more than 2% that we want, or less, but I'd be betting on more than 2% a year. And the SRECs, where will they go? We don't know. We model here to be going from $25 down to 15 20 years from now, but we don't know. We don't know exactly what that's going to be. So if we go to page 18, that's the smaller array, more conservative, a lot more than 50 feet away from the railroad tracks now. And that on page 18. That gives you a megawatt of generation. And if you see the third bullet there, I say, currently they're paying 10 cents on the excess. It may not continue. It may not. We don't know. Page 19 gives you the numbers for that one. And that gets you then, that's the 118,000 payment I talked about annually, that gets you divided by 12. That still gets you, if you would buy it out, still gets you the overall like 5 cents, 5.6 cents a kilowatt hour as far as what your overall benefit is. And we can play with any of these numbers. I mean, we can make the SRECs go up or down, what the rates are, what percent change. You look, but it's to stabilize it and make it conservative. This is like a $3.7 million. Now that's over 40 years, so divide that number and look at it. But you're still saving $30,000 a year in the first years, and then $70,000 to $80,000 in the mid years while you're financing it.
Do the residents still get a monthly bill?
Oh yes, yes. But this is for the borough.
This is just our municipality, our own buildings,
Just you.
just us.
It has nothing to do with the residents?
No, just what says Munhall Borough. Yeah, just your electric bill.
Our municipal bill and fire halls.
Yeah.
Anything but the streetlights. Streetlights are not.
We like one.
So like I said, that's a lot. Page 20 is if you never buy it out. That shows you just keep making the payments. And then page 21 is the verbal, the bullets, highlighted bullets of that. So, and that's why when I got through all that today, an hour or two before I left, I said, wow, I got to do this one pager for you to try to summarize, to say, okay, well, first, are you interested? And then secondly, okay, now to what extent do you want to roll the dice and try to get some extra generation, like a lot of our clients have done? Some aren't as aggressive in doing that. Some would say, let's do the 1 megawatt, not the 1.
The bottom line is 5 years and 1 day you have to make that decision.
Well,
They're going to buy it or keep listening.
but you can decide not to buy, and you
Right.
keep going. And then at year 10, you can decide to buy again, at 15, every 5
At
years.
5 years and 1 day, you have to make that decision.
And we'd ask you ahead of time,
Right.
3-6
But,
months.
yeah, you're correct though. Like
Right.
you either gonna keep leasing or you're
Right.
gonna finance
Either way.
the purchase.
Yes. Yep. But nothing firm that you have to do at year 6.
Right.
It's just a decision point.
I have a quick question. Are they basically like the panels that you have on the roof of houses? Same kind of system?
Basically,
How do you treat them as a live power line all the time? Are they gonna hold energy the whole time if there's an emergency? Like, we can kill the power to the house, but if they have roof panels, I can't send nobody up there because it's an electrically charged unit. So if there would be an emergency at the field, is there any type of disconnect for those panels? Or do we have to treat it like a power station? Where at least as a power station, we can kill certain areas of that. Are they gonna hold power the whole time?
I think generally they would hold power. I mean, there are ways to disconnect the whole site, sections of the site, but I think the fire concern is always something I would say for every township and borough when we talk to them. So I think a good thing would be to have like fire safety training with either in the field or in prior, but we do both.
Okay.
But that, I think there's proper ways to handle it appropriately, which I think sometimes what the general response is when you just kind of let it burn itself out, so that you don't send guys into the.
That's our policy now for anything
Yeah.
of that nature, but I just was curious if it was the same situation that we're
Yeah, I think-
already doing, kind of.
I think generally what the issue is like you can shut off the grid current, the AC side, but
Right.
if there is sun, it's still produced, it's still alive, like you wouldn't want to put an axe to the
Right,
panel.
absolutely.
So I think You can technically throw like blankets on it to try to like completely like roll it down, but I think generally they try to like stay away from it, just try to let it itself out.
Okay.
Like self-contained basically.
Yes.
But I think a training course would probably.
Okay, what happens if a fire started in that field, is it insured?
That would be our, we insurance system.
Just a question. Can this involve the residents in any way going forward, or just a question?
Governor Shapiro has a lot of energy policy being proposed currently. So one of the things he's pushing for is called community solar. So that's basically where you could sell, so right now this project we're proposing to you, the only offtake is the borough. But under community solar, which there's several other states like Maryland, New York, New Jersey, they all have that currently. You would be able to theoretically sell power to like 10, 15, 20, 100 different people. So right now, technically no, but Governor Shapiro is pushing for that. I don't want to make any promises that that's something that's there, but that is a possibility.
I just wondered if it can go forward, you know.
As of right now, I'd say unfortunately not.
Okay.
Okay, page 24, if I could, I'll try to be brief here on this. But this is a set power service agreement, our contract, basically. It enables the not-for-profits and folks to get these benefits. I talked about the immediate cash flow, the options to purchase, kind of talked about all this already, really. The output performance, Dave, I talked about 30 years and more in verse 20. And then we offer operational contracts as well for a very, very modest price to maintain the array. But that's basically our contract, is how that works, and it's a monthly fee. Page 25 takes you more details, but there it shows you, the options each year, 10, 15, 20, when you can opt to buy. No upfront investment. There are folks that will make an upfront deposit where they know they're going to buy the array. Some of the ones I showed you here, they know they're going to buy the array, so they'll even put more money in upfront, get a return on that money, and then have lower current service payments as they go. But those are for the folks that are very sure they're going to buy the array.
Do you have many of those?
Not a lot.
I'd say 10 to 20%.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a minority. And I do say there, the host is responsible for vegetative maintenance. That encyclopedia would call that money, but that's So page 26 is timeline. And again, I talked about a couple-year period here to get that done. But the biggest delays are with the approvals and getting the permits and making sure that the environmental people are happy, and sometimes we gold plate a water drainage basin. We don't like to, but it happens. And that can take a while. But you can be 9 to 12 months in permitting. The purchasing of the materials 4 to 6 months. Actually building it's only 4 months. And then, back in COVID, the transformers, some of those, the lead times was over a year. So we had a little trouble with supply chains and everything there. So. But if we did something November 1st, just the size of 40, we'd be good to go Q3, Q4 of 27. And we do not expect any permitting, knock on wood, we do not expect any issues, having talked to the zoning officer about just kind of requirements here. So we got into one in a fairly nearby township. I guess I shouldn't go. I don't know. But one Unity Township, they said if it's in the field, we don't want it. If you're going on a roof, it's okay. And so we had an obstacle there where we thought we could, the water treatment plant people were all for it. They were excited, ready to go. And we just couldn't get through the permitting. And we have a large university that's been a year and a half now working on the permitting. And there's a lot more DEP type stuff that keeps coming up. Don't expect that here from initial discussion. Our engineers talk to the zoning people. But just to give you the timing, it can be, I'm going to say 15 to 20 months. Is that fair to say? Yeah. So next steps or how it might work, page 27. We present, you guys will decide to proceed. We get you a draft of the PSA. We go get the approvals, we build it, you guys get the benefits and have the options in years 6, 10, 15, blah, 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 to buy it. You sell your excess power back to the utility. You get your SRECs, you get your payment in June for your excess power. Anything on your bill that's KWH is gone, and you can either buy it or not, whichever you want to do, at those option dates. And if you get a chance, I put our website on the last page there, that you can see additional projects. There are quite a few on rooftop and ground mount as well. Like I said, we're doing a lot of these in the field, people monetizing their land, and they're getting some benefit, and they love seeing their bill go away.
So how much do you think the little one, the smaller one will generate for a year?
It is.
Let's go back to that. Small array. I assume no buyout? Okay. So that's going to generate 1.27 megawatts, and I believe you're using 500,000, so that's, double what I think you're using. I can only see so much in my
Right, I
bills,
understand.
I need to get physical copies of the bills, but yeah, that'd be about double what you're generating. Page 20, page 20.
So that would put us to a zero bill for anything besides streetlights, is that what you're saying?
And the Duquesne Power infrastructure cost that you get, it's
Right.
2-3 cents or something. But your entire rest of your, what you contract for today, does anybody happen to know, do you use like Constellation or Direct Energy, or who you might
These
use?
are
Engie?
provided.
Engie, yeah. Okay, that Engie bill's gone, it would disappear there.
Just so you know, the contract expires next year.
Next year, yeah, okay, good enough, good enough. So that's not double.
Any more questions from council?
When do you need a decision on it?
Yesterday.
No. My entire life, I wasn't a salesman, I'm not gonna start now, so I'm just giving you the facts. And,
Right.
Sooner the better, and you don't wanna get up against that, gotta be built by end of 27, because things happen. And it will be a year and a half till you get this going. If you said November 1st, it'd still be a year and a half. But turn it on, get the final permission. I mean, sometimes when you ask the utility, it takes weeks just to get them to come out with the final on. So that happens.
If you want to just maybe put a date out, like if we want to tentatively try for like a March 31st contract execution, I think that's reasonable. So I think you guys have to make your decisions internally, and then usually it's like a month or two of working with the borough solicitor, for example. But I think 3/31 would be a reasonable deadline if you guys wanted to do.
Now, our solicitor was supposed to reach out to you, did they call anybody?
He didn't want to, we were hoping he would, but I didn't want to overstep here as far as that. But our solicitor is one of the best in the state as far as solar and understanding. In fact, we were just on a conference call on the way here, and they kept bringing up that they should involve our guy, our solicitor that we use. He's not an employee of ours, but he's an arm's length law firm, and he's very good. He's getting presentations all over the state, to authorities, associations, and things. So it'd be good if they would talk.
Any more questions from council? Mr. Eads? Mr. Brennan?
Does the state offer anything? Any sort of program? Does the state help out at all? There's tax credits for the federal government, or there are tax credits for the state.
Is the Act 121, that's not in Duquesne? No.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
we'll jump right into public comments.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. Charlene David, 719 East 11th Avenue. So I have solar.
Okay,
So I'm really into solar, and it's really saved me a heck of a lot of money, but there's some things that I have learned. So you want to get different estimates. I'm sorry, you guys.
That's fine.
But Bernie, you said something like, this sounds too good to be true, and in some cases it is too good to be true. So that's why you want it. Some contractors are better than others. The federal tax credit is 30%. So you don't want that to go. You don't want that to go away. So, I'll just put it out there, my solar panels were $25,000. That took that down to like 17. that's huge,
Right.
and that's going to go away. So you definitely want to jump on it. Another thing that's really important is our street crews, you know, they do a terrific job. They don't need additional duties. And I would just like to suggest that possibly you think about, instead of grass seed, native plants. Because they'll take over and then you don't have to worry about everything and they benefit everyone, you know. So that might be something to consider.
Could I, ma'am, Peter?
Yeah.
Two things. We will target actually 40% by using panels made in the United States instead of the 30.
Yeah.
And we do pollinator plantings and things as well.
Yeah, so stay away from the grass if you can. And what was I going to say? If it's at all possible, if you could get any grants from the state or whatever to pay for these up front without any type of lease, that's the best thing to do, because you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. If I would have financed the solar panels, I really wouldn't have got much savings in them. But now I haven't paid for any electricity since February. And that's with all the cloudy days and everything that we've had.
No, there has solar panels too.
Yeah,
Solar
and-
panels, yeah, same.
yeah, but
I mean,
I
I pay, I don't think I've been since February, but I didn't have any
yeah.
Duquesne Light bill in May, June, or July, and I just got a Duquesne Light bill this month for $12.
Yeah.
And we pay 55 something a month for the solar panels.
Yeah, and I didn't do that, we just,
That's under a 30-year
yeah,
agreement.
I didn't do that because I didn't want to pay interest, so I just paid up front. But anyway, and it's just like the gentleman said, what happens is, you know, the money just drops into my account. It's like a stock exchange where that I sell that solar back, and then the money just drops straight into my checking account like each month. And so it's not much because I'm just a little home, but it was still $130. And when you think about $130 over, I've only had them for 10 months. You know, that's like one of my utility bills. Oh, and by the way, I have 2 electric cars.
Oh, okay.
And it's saving me that.
That's
you know,
big.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it is a really good deal, but you do have to be careful because there's a lot of good places out there. And if there's any way the borough could pay for them just upfront and own them, that's the best, because then you're not paying all those additional leasing fees and all that other jazz.
Okay.
So that's all. And native plants, please.
Any more public comments? PJ?
I have one. Brad Fischriga, 1332 Margaret Street. I'm kind of prefacing some of the discussion I'm interested in tonight with the Blighted Properties Committee.
Go right ahead.
Some of that.
Or no, just the,
Yeah, I'd like to react to some of that, but it hasn't happened yet. But I do have some handouts for all the council members in regard to some of the tax abatement programs that I've been referencing. This is a rather lengthy packet, but I do want to direct your...
I saw your email.
Yes, yeah, so I apologize for the lateness on that. There's a few of you that I've been going back and forth on with some of this. But this is a report generated by Warren County and as you can see in the title, it's the Municipal Summary Document for Warren County, PA, Residential and Commercial Tax Abatement Program. This is one of the areas in PA that has significantly tripled down on these types of tax abatements. And I want to bring to your attention a number of pages, specifically pages 6 and 7. It might be worth your time to write these down. 6 and 7, 15 and 16, and then 27 and 30. So that's 6, 7, 15, 16, 27, and 30. On page 6, you'll notice there are some comments here regarding the IDRPA. I've seen it, IDRPA. They added P here for this one, but it was just the 1971 law called the Improvement of Deteriorating Real Property or Areas Tax Exemption Act. And essentially what this group is doing, and many other groups across the state, is they're using the 1977 LRTA law, which is specifically focused on business, commercial, industrial, and they're combining it with the 1971 IDRPA Act, and there's some explanation in there as well based on that. They do have specific sections that are dealing with residential new construction. This has been one of the talking points that I know we've struggled with as we've gone through this conversation.
Excuse me. we did have a meeting about this, and that
Okay.
was what we talked about.
Oh, great.
And that is what we're doing. We are
Okay.
combining the commercial and the residential in our ordinance.
Okay,
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
We are
What are
doing
the,
We're
what are
doing
the,
We'll be discussing that coming up.
yeah, so
Right.
that's kind of what I was suggesting at
Right,
the
so
beginning.
we're there.
But what would be the scope of that? Because the
It's for
point
the
I'm
whole
getting
borough.
at, what is it?
For the whole borough.
Yes, but I mean the time period and the percentages.
Okay.
That's kind of my question.
Time period's been a little different. We're talking 5, right, Rick?
We're talking 5 years.
Right.
For new residential, new construction.
For everything.
I think for new construction, going up 2 years.
Well, no, that's been revised as of this afternoon. The solicitor says that we can do 5 years for residential new construction. So all in 5 years.
All of it is for 5 years.
Okay.
And the first 2 years is 100%. So
Okay.
there'll be 100% tax forgiveness for the first 2 years, is what we talked about.
Okay.
We haven't made any final decisions yet, but for the second, for the third, fourth years, Dave, what did they go to? You remember?
It went from 100 down to 80,
No, it was 100, 100, I thought it went down to
100,
70.
70?
70.
70.
We talked about so much, it's hard to remember.
I know last year was like 30, so. I don't know what the-
I thought you said 100, 170, 70, and 30.
That's it.
So there you go.
Great. Yes, that's kind of what I'm interested in. I know the Steel Valley School District is also working on one. I know that there was some conversation, that's why I wrote down pages 15.
They're going 10 though.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
they're
So
going
that was,
So we actually contacted the solicitor before the meeting, and
oh, good.
it does not matter if we're 5 and they're 10.
Oh, yeah. I
My
figured-
thing is, are they concerned about, do they want to be the same as we are? School district, they want to be, you know, if we're 5,
Yes.
would that be a problem with them? I don't know that.
No, it wouldn't, it wouldn't. I guess that would be my concern, and would be back to you. If the school
Right.
district is going 10, I would encourage Munhall to consider going with 10 as well.
Well, my
We're-
concern is exactly what you just addressed. It doesn't matter if they're 10 and we're 5.
Doesn't matter.
That's correct.
And there you go. That's
Here, let me
Yes.
clarify, actually, the
Well,
ordinance
Greg's-
that's currently written says 100, 170, 50, 30.
Okay.
Greg said on the LERTA that it's for the new building part. Right now, it's 2 years. He said, but he can shoehorn it in to whatever we want it, 5, if we want it. But he said the school wants 10.
Well, that's okay.
Yes, and so that is, there's obviously a lot of revolving parts of this, and that's why I was going to highlight page 15 on this packet, which is the fact that they are highlighting you can go up to 10 years and up to 100% specifically on new construction. So that's kind of my encouragement. I guess that would be the summary of my public comment, would be to say, there's plenty of case law to point to 10 years, 100% abatement on residential new construction, as well as the traditional barriers with LERTA and the improvements that would be put out. My encouragement to you would be to consider the school district and also to consider developers when we're advertising this program. What we don't want to do is have developers having to jump through all of these different hoops and work through a maze or a labyrinth of years and percentages in order to actually take action and build in some of these areas. Across the state, there are plenty of places, and in fact, large places like Philadelphia, Harrisburg, Erie, they're offering the full percentage, 10 years, 100% for new construction of houses. Obviously, those are situations that are a bit different than ours, but I think there's not a reason that we would push back and say, hey, we want to make this as aggressive as possible in order to entice that development. And then my final thing would just be to consider the school district and make it the same, because then you can advertise that and say, hey, Steel Valley's offering this abatement, Munhall's offering the same abatement, and you can just kind of go down the tax tree and make it very simple for developers.
I just want to hold, I don't want to hold anything up.
Yes, I understand as well, and that's always the balance here and the compromise of, you don't want to overcomplicate it, but you also want to make this, relatively straightforward so it actually works.
Right.
So, that's it, that's all I have, and,
Thanks, Brad.
yes, thank you.
Any more public comments? Finance.
We got a tax, well, let me start back with the fact we have a budget, a draft budget that has been prepared. that everyone in the council has seen. We'll have a further discussion during the regularly scheduled finance meeting on November 10th.
November 10th, we'll have a budget meeting and starting our budget and final finance meeting and starting the budget for 2026.
Yeah.
So all new council members can be involved, public can be involved, public meeting.
So at this point in time, we just want the council to review the budget and see where you would like to make changes. If you don't, and you have a hard copy in all the packets.
So what time does that mean?
That's, when do we do it? 6?
6,
6 o'clock.
November 10th.
Open to the public as well.
Encourage the public.
Yes, encourage the public for their own comments. And I can make, if the council wants, I can make the draft budget available to the public, or we wait until after the meeting.
I think they should do
Wait, so wait until.
We'll have a start of the meeting.
Yeah. I think
We'll have it available for the meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
because we can maybe adjustments along the see.
Correct.
And I'll give you a quick little tax, I'll give an update again next week as well, but the tax clerk to give you the year-to-date tax collection. So, September 1. As of actually September 30th, total taxes collected for the borough is $524,270.
$5 million?
524,000, sorry, that's not for the whole year. That's just for this month, for the month of September.
Wow.
Yeah, no, 500,000 is not enough for us to operate. And I'll have a final number for the year for next week.
Okay. And what day did you say you were planning on having this, November 6th?
November 10th.
November 10th?
6 p.m.
At 6 p.m.
That's a Monday.
That's a budget meeting.
Budget, finance together.
November 10th at 6 p.m.
Public Works.
All I have is we're gonna start building Mercer Avenue this week. Hopefully we'll pave it next week, depending on the weather.
Mercer Avenue.
Yeah.
Mercer.
The street.
Street, yeah.
What's the situation on Boone Way?
We'll discuss that.
We'll discuss that?
Yeah.
Okay, coming up, okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Did you do the alleys that you were talking about doing?
I've got 2 of them done. I'm working on Boone Way and then see how much time we have left before the weather gets bad.
When do the plants shut down?
About 6 weeks.
The leaf pickup, I think we should come up with a drop dead date. I mean, I know last year people were still putting the leaves out in the streets and in the snow.
Yeah.
And so we have to have like, a date where we're no longer gonna pick up leaves, like November 1st, that's it. Last year was December, they were still blowing leaves out in the street.
We'll talk about it. We'll get a date out.
Trees that are losing too,
Where do you put them on garbage bags, please, after November?
Yeah.
We can always do that,
We can
yeah.
always do that, yeah.
Parks and Recreation, Ring.
I have no actual report except to say that I would like to see the Christmas trees on Main Street. Last year we started on December 1st. I thought maybe we could do December 15th. I would like to discuss it because I don't know what you want, but I'd like to tell the people or
What do you
the
decide?
groups.
Whatever you decide. Do you think
What do you
whatever Ring-
think, guys?
whatever Ring thinks? I don't know.
Wherever you think, Green.
I think so too. You go for it.
Do it.
Okay, my choice, okay. Thank you.
Lighted properties.
We just got everything, all the plans in place, we just gotta let them start working. And, we're gonna work on the Verda thing. We're talking about it tonight.
It's all about the weather.
It's all about Verda.
All about weather. Okay, we're going to go to items of consideration. We're all solar project out. Okay, update on the structures, unsafe structures.
Yeah, so there's I sent out a notice earlier, or about 2 weeks ago, to the public for notice of condemnation hearings for 5 properties, which will be, the hearings will take place next week at 7 p.m. regular council meeting.
We'll start the meeting with the hearings.
We start the meeting hearings.
Yeah.
That includes 716 East 10th Avenue, 2305 Mondera. I'm sorry, those are
No.
the addresses, those are the actual owners of the property. The addresses are right over here.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody lives on the properties anymore. Oh, here we go. 1709 Martha, 1713 Martha, 1214 Louise, and then 25 and 26 Harrison.
What was the last one? Last
25 and 26 Harrison.
Harrison.
So those will be, we'll have those hearings next Tuesday at the regular council meeting, start off the council
All of my
Questions about that?
records, demolition from the application,
Yeah.
that's all taken care of?
meeting. That's, yeah, it's due this month, to remind the public, we're talking about 5 properties, 1221 Cole Road, 1231 Cole Road, 1251 Cole Road, 1276 Cole Road, and 1275 Ravine Street are these 5 properties we're putting out, we're putting in the application for tear down. These are, because of the difficulty of reaching most of these properties, they are much more expensive to tear down than the average property. Like, for example, 1275 Ravine Street, estimated tear down cost is $38,000.
Whoa.
Because there's a giant waterway in the way, right?
Well,
There's no way to get to
it's
the actual building.
on the other side of Ravine Street, you have a walking bridge, but it probably has to be accessed from the top. So if you know Cole Road, it only goes to that first house, and then the rest of the road is gone, so they're basically gonna have to build a road before it takes thousands out.
Yeah. So that's why we want to
Yeah,
get.
it's hard to get to that one.
Fire. Fire.
Can we get the fire department just to burn it
Burn
down
it down.
as a training?
I
Yes.
don't know.
You could,
We do that?
Burn it.
By
Burn
location,
it
they
down.
probably won't issue the permit.
All right.
What's that?
Doesn't hurt
It's kind
that.
of
By
in trees.
location
It's in
and
the trees.
accessibility, they probably won't issue the permit.
Dave will give you a permit. Dave, give him a permit.
We'll build them a road. I mean, these are houses, people say, well, why are you tearing them down? Bernie, I think you said the best, there's no way people should be living in those houses. There's no roads up there.
No. I was up there 15 years ago, they had extension cords on it.
Right.
Yeah, but there was a road back then.
Right, that road blew out,
It
right,
blew out.
behind your house.
There's
Yeah,
about
after Mickey drove
3 or
Gardner.
4 of them in the woods that there's like barely anything left of
The
them.
lady said those were the worst houses she's ever seen. Ever.
There's no one living in it now, right? It wasn't too long ago, though.
No?
Second floor boat out,
Okay, so I had to make some adjustments to the build-out that we initially discussed earlier in the year. Now, we still want to do the second floor build-out, but I also included the security measures we talked about as well for this building, for this floor. So all combined into one big project. So we're going to send out the specs, I think, hopefully soon.
Yeah, I started digesting them today
And
before.
then we'll get some bids for that, and hopefully they can work on that in the winter, because the lake is all enclosed. So hopefully we'll have some good bids for that, they aren't too expensive.
I talked to the engineer before the meeting, we're still looking at the intersection of Briley Lane. The drawing we had no measurements on it. There's no numbers on it at all, so that kind of complicated things. We'll take it from there, but we're still looking into that. Boone Way,
Okay, so I've got 2 proposal bids for milling of Boone Way, Hazel. It's from Library to McClure, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the whole section of the road to be milled.
It's 3 blocks.
Yep. 2 bids here, John T. Caruso and Peter J. Caruso. We tried to get 2 other bids, but no one else is interested. So next week I'll ask council to vote to go with the cheaper one.
Who were the bids, can we ask?
Oh, you have them in your packet.
go throw them out there.
Yeah, John D. Caruso, $16,087.50, and Peter Caruso, $18,225.
They're not the same company?
No.
Okay.
So those are the 2 bids, but the way to get that, we can't do it ourselves because it's such a bad street.
It's 1,000 foot of mill.
Yeah.
We can have time to do it.
He'll mill it and we'll pay it.
Okay, maybe, we don't approve it by next week, is there gonna be enough time?
If we don't approve it next week, probably.
No, I'm saying if we have, between now,
Yeah.
we approve it next Tuesday, we're good.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So is that just milling?
Yes,
Or is that paving?
milling.
That's just them milling,
I just know.
okay?
It's so bad that we can't build it ourselves.
Yeah.
It'll take us 3 weeks to go on.
Okay?
Discuss changing the ordinance regarding paving requirements from third-party paving companies.
Yeah,
Tell me about that.
Bob, do you wanna respond to that, or Matt, one of you two?
Which one?
Ordinance regarding pavement requirements for third party.
Yeah, right now it's an inch and a half. It doesn't seem to be holding up in the water company or gas company pave. And they're gonna be tearing up Roberta and Summerfield next year, which we just did a 4-inch mill and pave on that about 5 years ago.
Right?
Okay,
So they come in with an inch and a half, it's not gonna hold up.
okay,
So we need to change that.
okay. That's, so, all along now, they've only been going with what they've been tearing up. They haven't replaced it for our specs.
Well,
Our specs now, but it's not enough.
yeah, it's not enough.
Okay.
But when we raise them, it's gonna raise the prices too, correct?
For them,
For them.
Not for us,
not for us.
all right?
No, this is for utility,
This-
roadway openings,
Okay.
restoration.
All right.
Just speaking about paving, Bob, can I just ask you, looking at this sheet that says, streets that need paved 2026, I'm on West Virginia Avenue. I know where Alberta is. And you have on here West Virginia Avenue from Grace Street to Alberta. They run parallel to each other, right? And then the next one, Alberta from Beachway to West Virginia. I'm thinking Alberta from West Eugene down to West Virginia. I mean, I know you know how many times you've patched that, God bless you. 2 days later, it's a holy cow. So would you just clarify that or, look into that?
That was just a rough estimate on what we need to do.
We can talk about the
And
water.
Alberta goes from West Oliver all the way to Eugene. So what do you,
I'm just saying, when you say Grace Street to Alberta Street, Grace Street's here, Alberta Street's here.
It's just one section.
It doesn't need it, Tim. It
You're
needs
saying-
it from West Eugene down to West Virginia. I'm just commenting because I do see this.
okay. You got this, we'll discuss change, well, no, how are we gonna go about changing the ordinance? We're gonna write up a new ordinance? or-
Yeah, we'll have Greg look at the ordinance.
Not for next week, though.
Look at them, the ordinance wouldn't be voted on next week. We basically asked Greg, look at those ordinances.
Okay. That's something we want to do before next year?
Before next year, yeah.
Okay.
So we have time for that.
Okay, Creek Street update. Gee.
Yeah. I don't know, Matt, if you wanna give me any kind of update you got?
So I'm working on getting the permitting for DEP completed. We're gonna send that to them. In the meantime, while they're reviewing it, we're gonna put everything out for bid again, because it's been over a year since it's been, we can't hold that contractor legally to keep his price.
You know when it'll be going out to bid?
When? Hopefully before the end of next month.
Before the end of next month? So what we're saying is it probably won't get done until spring.
You're not gonna get a permit for 3 months.
Jeez.
Wow.
This will never end.
I know.
It'll never end.
Thanks, Matt, appreciate that.
My trucks.
Okay, so, I've had some conversations with 911 DC in the last few weeks. They've identified a loan company, Kansas State Bank, we've been taking loans out before, to cover the Mack truck and the garbage trucks. The garbage trucks I'm not really worried about because we'll pay those off immediately. But because our bond rating dropped so much, Kansas State Bank is asking for a down payment of 5% for the Mack trucks, which the council will need to authorize,
That's encouraging.
which is a value of $36,962. So that'll just need to be approved next week at the council meeting.
How far did our bond rating drop?
It dropped 3 ranks to triple B plus.
That will be last year, right?
Yeah, last year. So that's why we gotta make sure we get it back up again next year, when they do another reevaluation. So that's just keeping you informed. Now, one thing we can look at, so the schedule of the payment schedule is the second and third pages for the 2 different things. There's the first one is for the Mack trucks, the second one is for the garbage trucks. Don't worry about the garbage trucks because we'll be able to pay that off without a penalty when we get them. We pay them, we get reimbursed for it. For the Mack trucks, the applied interest for the 2 vehicles which we council authorized will equal to be about $140,000 over 5 years. Russ brought it up last month, I believe, that we should consider maybe just paying that outright and then reimbursing our reserve fund for that. So council can discuss that further.
How much is the total for both?
For the 2 trucks, total is $626,000.
So you say just pay that and then
Reimburse every year for the next 5 years. What would be the interest rate, according to the schedule on page 2.
All right?
That's, any questions about that? We don't have to rush to decide it now.
Well,
Yes.
that's a great idea, but 2 years down the road or whatever, and you stop reimbursing that money back in there, that may stop a year from now. I mean, that's a great thought, but that's, you know,
Right.
once the money's gone, the money's gone.
All right.
Move the MMO.
All right, so next week we have to, the council needs a vote to authorize the MMO, the minimum municipal obligation for the borough for our pensions. We would have to, now most of this is covered by the state money we get from the pensions, but the amount required for the police pension is the second page, $289,460, which we would have to pay. Now this is mostly covered by the state funds. And for the non-uniform pension, the general pension fund, we have $40,000 required for the borough to spend. It doesn't cost, basically we don't have to pay much ourselves, but the council has to authorize the MMO before we do it. So it's voted as council's done for years. There's nothing new, it's what we do every year.
5-year paving list, we just mentioned it.
Yeah, take a look at it. Offer your thoughts to Bob.
When we raised taxes last year, which was this year, we talked about having a more aggressive paving program for 2026. That's something we have to look at in the budget. We have to pave roads. We are so far behind, we can't depend on the utilities to pave our roads for us. So it's something we have to look at in the budget. We have to find the money to pave roads now, as many as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Agreement with Pennsylvania?
Yeah, we need to renew our winter maintenance service agreement, which is attached, included here. It's pretty standard. It's basically the same one that's been done every year. I'll get the copy of this. I think I've already sent it to you, but I'll make sure that Greg has a copy so he can review it before next week. And if you have any questions, let me know, but it's really just, it's the money we get paid by the state to maintain, clear the roads of state roads.
Do we have any update on, I'm getting a lot of questions on taking care of the Lincoln Place section of the snow removal for the city of Pittsburgh?
They shot it down.
They shot it down.
They shot down?
Yeah.
Okay.
The city rejected it. Yeah, the union.
That's off the table now.
Yep.
That's fine with me.
So that's their problem.
That's it. Street light installation request.
All right, there, we got 2 requests.
That's Green Street, by the way. It's not
Green Street,
Greenway.
not Greenway, yep. That's by a man, requested by a man named, Roy Costco. Ron Costco.
He wants a street light in front of his house.
He wants a street light, between, not in front of his house, but near his house, between two different, he gave me two addresses, but basically, yeah. He says it's too dark. I don't know what council's view is on putting these streetlights in. It doesn't cost us to install them, but it costs us to pay the electric bill. So that's the thing. Duquesne Light will install it if council wants it, but we have to pay the electricity.
That is one small street.
Mr. Brenner used to live on the street, didn't he?
Yes, I did. That's up at the top of the street, or in the middle.
And the other one is for 405 East 11th Avenue, which is a woman by the name of Courtney, I don't know her last name. She called about that as well, so.
Well, once you start putting street lights in, you get ready.
Yeah, so that's council, if they want to not do it, fine, I just bring it to council for their decision. Any inputs on that besides?
I think you should drive by them and take a look in the dark, see how dark it is.
Okay. Do you want to, have someone in your office do that sometime?
Who's saying that?
One's on Green Street, one's on 11th Avenue. I'll be more than happy to drive by the Green Street one.
I'll go by the 11th Avenue.
Well, more to get the police's perspective on safety.
Yeah. Well, that'd be even better.
More useful one.
I thought you were talking to us.
Well, I was looking at Jamie when I said that.
Jamie, you're driving on both places.
Right?
I mean, street has been there for a long time. and,
They ain't got no.
no darker now than it was 10 years ago, I don't think, so I don't know.
That 405 East 11, all those trees down there, that's probably why there's no light.
Right, that's down, right off of, McClure, right?
You know, if you see some of the richer boroughs around, like I have family in Upper St. Clair, Bethel Park, very little street lighting.
Right.
Yeah.
You go up those ways compared to what we have. I'm not saying people shouldn't have street lights, I'm just saying
No, up in,
richer boroughs do not.
I'm driving there on the intersection, all there is on the intersection, that's all there is.
Stay rich.
Yeah, exactly.
It's dark. My neighbor, I
Look
don't,
up some of
my
those
neighborhood's very dark.
Electric bills.
Very little.
So am I.
You're exactly right.
It's private. You got a private road.
All right, letter of support for Steel Valley Accelerator, 5K race, that's
Yeah,
just,
that's just, yeah, we just want to keep it, they're gonna do, April, they're gonna do their 5K.
they had one last year,
Yeah.
it should be much better this year. The
Do we
tree,
have a date?
Don't have a date yet. There's one letter of support to
it's in April.
Good, have it.
April sometime.
The tree planting, I have no idea.
So so a resident called asking at their expense if they could plant a tree in honor of, actually, not Diane Evans' wife, Diane Evans' mother, I think, but anyways, it doesn't
Where at,
matter.
Dave?
Last one on the,
No, where they want to plant the tree.
oh, that's up to us. You asked if there was any program, we don't have anything set up. So I want to get council's input, do we want to allow something like this to go on? Because it could encourage other people to do it and run out of space, I mean, what does council think?
One of the parks.
I mean, I can talk to Bob about finding a park to put a tree up, it's not hard finding one tree, but do we want to open that up?
I think it's a nice idea.
I just don't know how, we don't have
I
a
mean,
program.
I can work on developing a program for it, I just wanted to see what you guys
Right.
thought. Rick likes it, so we can.
I think it's a great
work on
idea.
preparing some sort of a
I
program.
guess Candy Park would be the place to do it?
All the parks, you got all,
Too many trees
lot
down
of
there.
places.
I don't know.
Do we get to choose, you know, the tree or give them a certain
We
tree?
would give
they
them
can
a
pick
type
from?
of tree that we would want.
Yeah, it has to be something we want, right.
We wouldn't want them to just choose whatever tree.
Absolutely. I just want.
There's all kind of programs where you can
Yeah,
get.
Tree Pittsburgh has.
Right, get all kind of trees.
Park Square would be a nice place,
But they might want to put a plaque or something as well, or something.
in
Absolutely.
memory of.
Yeah.
That would be very nice.
Okay, there are two other items I didn't get a chance to put on the agenda. I have two bids now for the repair, the insurance repair of the firehouse number 5.
The roof.
The roof, just, that was damaged by the storm a few months ago. I finally have 2 quotes from Cotis and Extreme Restoration.
Oh, Dave,
Yeah.
I spoke to Extreme, they're gonna get you half of a bid.
Yeah, I got that already. I got it already. So I have 2 bids here. Most of it's reimbursed by the insurance company, but we can still authorize the expenditure. And I don't have them here, but I'll have them for you next week. Or do I did include them, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, 11,765 from CODIS, and then 12,812 from extreme restoration. That's just for, it's not the whole roof, it's just the part that was damaged in the storm.
Do we have to go with the low bidder?
So what's that, $12,000?
Yeah,
That what the limit is?
12,600 is the threshold.
That's what I'm asking them.
Dave,
Yeah,
you got one more coming in, you needed 3.
3, I'm still
And
waiting.
you had that other one in it.
Yes, I know, but I haven't got it yet.
So you're supposed to have it be tomorrow.
Okay, then we'll have a third one for next week.
Well, let's not, now that we know what the bid is, that third bid,
Yeah,
it's kind of shaky here.
you're right,
We
you're
already
right.
announced
You're
what the
right.
bids are. Really, that kind of screws the whole bid.
It does. But it's also below the threshold too.
Okay.
I like to get more bids, not necessarily for violation of any legal thing, but more just to make sure we're being
Right.
due diligent.
So they're both below the threshold.
Yes.
Any more old business?
One more thing.
Okay.
The Steel River COG is asking for a letter of support for the Mon Valley Innovation for New Growth with Park Support, which is this document here that I just got today. They're asking for it by this week, really.
Really what?
A letter of support. Basically, Sioux River's Council of Governments, Turtle Creek Valley Council of Governments are seeking $100,000 in Park Power Planning Grant to create a plan for innovative economic development in steel and metals, energy and clean tech, data, advanced manufacturing, and other growth sectors.
They want our support, they can apply for it.
Letter of support to apply for a
I don't
grant.
see a problem.
Yeah, they're rolling on.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and get it to them this week. Just want to keep the council aware.
Right.
That's all I got.
Any old business?
Question, just on the main street, I got some questions about lighting up there. Is there any, I know there's new lighting coming up. Is there any bulb replacement that could be done though? 'Cause some people are still saying some bulbs are burned out.
I'll call an electrician.
I'm sorry, Bob, I didn't
I'll call an electrician.
call the electrician. So the people need to call their own electrician?
No,
I'll do it.
Wait,
You'll call the electrician.
you'll call the electrician?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Leave a lot of bulbs out?
You're talking about the one on Main Street that was on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's by Dr. Zabelski's office, along there.
There's probably more than that one.
Well, there's more than that, yeah. I mean, that's not the only one.
Right.
Thanks, Bob.
Matt, any word when they're gonna start Main Street?
We are gonna have a discussion Thursday on,
Meeting.
yes. David, Dan, and I are gonna discuss the next Main Street Matters grant and the one you currently have to see if we could spend that money on lighting or not spend the money on lighting. If we can't spend the money, then we have to wait till December to see if we get the rest of the money.
I thought we had to spend the money. I thought they said you gotta spend the money.
Kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
Because the original grant, the way it was written, was only for the sidewalks. If we can use the money, then there's enough there that we can start on one end or the other and work through the middle, the way the lighting circuits lay out. But if we can't use the money, then we have to wait.
Okay.
You have to spend the money, but we can't use it what we want to use it on. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
It's,
That's why we're meeting with Dan, because he reads grant language and David and I
That's good.
aren't as smart as him.
So we'll have a better answer for you next Tuesday,
yeah, hopefully, the meeting's gonna be when?
Thursday.
This Thursday, so we'll come up with something.
So once we figure that out,
Anybody else want to show up at the meeting, go ahead.
we're gonna meet with the contractors on Monday,
Yes, Ken.
depending on what comes out of Thursday's meeting, to decide when they can start.
Anybody from the public want to go to the meeting?
Which maybe the one of the Dan,
Yeah.
it might be best to just keep it internal.
Oh, I don't know, they want to show up, no one's gonna show up. Who's gonna go to the meeting?
Don't be surprised.
You have a conference room over there, I mean, I've been very transparent here, wherever you want to go. Any more old business? Any more additional items?
How's the audit coming?
What's that?
The audit?
The audit, it is, the last piece of information was given to them today about the capital improvements. So it's almost done. They've basically submitted to DCED, and we should have a final version ourselves very soon.
Okay. Any more? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Meeting's adjourned.